parts are looking good, dude.
Thank you.
Are you excited? Dude, that looks sick.
Oh.
Boom.
We got lockers to go in.
Check that out. So
just one this one.
Morning. Oh, that was a delayed response. Well, you guys are a bit hungover. Big day today. Yesterday, obviously everybody would have seen, the cab is now down at Live and Loco, getting sorted out, and now the real fun start actually begins.
So all we have to do is just finish off like some welding here and there, just everything that we couldn't access while the cab and tub was on.
Yep.
Then we take out the diffs and the chassis. It goes to sandblasting, gets painted, and it comes back here. And while the chassis is out, then we rebuild all of the diffs, and I show you a new surprise that I got on a pallet over there.
Oh, you did get a good. Yeah. So the boys got a really good Christmas present last year.
Yeah.
Actually, all three has got really good Christmas presents, and they're something to do with diffs, diff tanks.
Yeah, diff tanks.
Now the kids have done all of the welding on the frame up until this stage. Now we got to get Pedro in here to really go over all the welds, make sure that everything's right, nothing's going to crack, obviously from a quality assurance perspective, that everything is in there the way that it should be. We're going to look at any of the gusseting that we may need to improve on. We're not going to give away all the secrets, but
yeah, we can't.
Jack and Harrison have done some little analysis stuff to ensure that this frame is going to last the test of time. I think the real big one for this is getting all the axles out, getting all of them recutted. Now, I've done a good last night. I found you more present. I got onto some mates that you guys know. I found you a complete set of brand new 79 series front brakes.
Ooh.
Brand new. Yep. Oh, well, not brand new. I mean, they're used, but they look nothing like that. Because that right there, I don't know if the engineer's going to pass any of that stuff right there.
No, I don't think so, especially with all these crossy lines.
But once you blast all of that, the actual housing, pull everything apart.
it'll look.
I think it's going to be good. Are you all ready for this?
Hell so keen.
Are you all ready for this? Are you all ready for this?
This is it.
This is the last stage of the teardown, and then we're going to start putting some shiny stuff back onto the FJ49.
Yes.
Now it really is a thing. All right, get into it. As usual, I'm going back to concentrate on the things that pay for these things.
Yep.
For you guys to do these things.
Yep. Yes.
The final teardown is happening now. Let's get the thing back together. That was probably the longest intro ever. We're going to have to put some B-roll over that. The cameraman's standing over looking at me like, dude, shut up. Again, we're on the clock here. We can only do 40-minute episodes. Let's go. See you.
That's not too bad.
Oh, yeah, it's not that bad. That chunks.
Thanks, Steve. I just get those bars. There we go, look at that. I got your knuckle out. Alright, so pretty much the whole of today was undoing seized and rounded bolts out of this front diff. We got everything off, ready to go to sandblast and powder coating. So we have a new front housing and a new rear housing. So all we need is these centers, so those are getting sandblasted. Then we just order Diff like rebuild kits with all of the like seals, wipers, and bearings, and then she'll be mint. The plan for tomorrow is get like the chassis all buttoned up, make it all good, almost tripped, and ready to go to the big sandblaster and get all powder coated. So that's like the plan. So I reckon it was a pretty good, useful day, and I got like to learn how to rebuild diffs, kind of. So yeah.
Here we go. At the top of the
We got a phone call yesterday from the team down at Live and Loco. You can see, obviously, you're probably watching this right now and going, hang on a sec. Didn't those guys just drop that thing off down to those guys down in Burleigh? Well, yes, we did. What's up, y'all? FJ update. We've just arrived down at Live in Loco. It has now been 5 working days. So we dropped this off last Monday. It's Tuesday now. We had a long weekend. Ashton, I couldn't hold him back. He's just run in to see what's going on. And the boys are into it.
Going on, man?
How we going?
Yeah, good.
What do you reckon, Ash?
Looking awesome.
Looking good?
Yeah.
All the firewall, dude. That's all ready to go.
Started cutting up all your rust. That was in the bottom of the sill.
Hell yeah.
Nate's just started making up all the new piece now.
Sick.
And then plated the outer skin on your door.
Oh, look at that.
That one that was all missing.
Hell yeah.
Good, address it, hammer it
Yep.
up.
Did you make all that by hand?
Yeah.
Yep. Gold, look at that.
Put on the Swiss cheese that was in there.
Are you excited?
Yeah, it looks awesome.
Dude, that looks sick. But we have ran into a problem, which is why we're down here.
Well,
We're gonna have to make some new stuff out here.
the floor is kind of like repairable at this point. It's just all rust out and thin, and we'll just fall through like eventually. So it's easier to just get it all redone now rather than later.
Yeah, and I think it's the right call. You reckon it's the right call?
100%, man.
Yeah? Right call, bro?
No
It'll
point
finish the
going-
build off.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's no point going this far and do a build and then trying to make this work.
Yeah. We had a phone call last week. I spoke to the boys last week. They reckon the floor's just too far gone, and it is. I mean, look, if we show, look up in here. So if he wants to actually use it, and like we were just saying, like throw dirt bikes and load it up and do all the rest of it, get all that stuff in, now is really the only time to do it. So what we're going to do is we're going to take the tub back to Patriot HQ. We're going to unpick all of the floor, and we're going to use all of the resources that we have there and all the equipment, and we're going to make a brand new floor for this tub. I think that's the go away. Well, I reckon you should keep all this rusty look all the way around the side.
Yeah, because it does.
And then
Leave it out in the
brand
weather then, so all my little shave spots start
Yeah.
rusting back up.
new- Oh, so that's another thing. So,
So
all,
all they're deleted.
yeah, all those tonneau cover marks, they're all going as well. So we're getting this thing looking as factory as possible. Timing, what do you reckon, boys? How much longer do you reckon you need it for?
We'll reach the deadline as long as we get this back
Yeah.
just before, so we can match the paint on the outside.
Yep.
Because we'll paint it all at once.
Well, I reckon we're going to need at least a week. By the time we get it back, unpick it, fab up the new one. We'll CNC, we'll press break all those ribs. And then what I'm thinking is we'll just laser cut a piece so it still looks factory, and then get Pedro to TIG all that in. That's the plan at the moment. Once we pull it apart, I think we'll know. Yeah?
Yep.
All right, pumped?
Yep.
Let's get this thing loaded up.
Well, like eventually it's all like gonna have like a drawer system and everything like in here, so it's all gonna be covered up anyway. But like for like the time being, since I'm still months away from that, I need this like floor to hold up. So
Yeah, you can see up here, the boys jumped underneath and had a look, and they've kind of said, look, if we're going to start chucking dirt bikes and fridges and putting all that stuff in here, this floor is definitely not going to last. So we've made the executive decision. we're going to unpick the whole floor and we're going to replace it with a brand new floor. Now, I've spent the past couple of days really hunting around trying to find a new floor. So I did found one that can be built in Australia by a guy down in Melbourne who does some amazing work, but he said he's going to be about 8 to 12 weeks to get one made, and we just don't have that time. We don't have a swage machine here. I mean, the way that you would do this is where these ribs all kind of taper off, so that's all pressed in one piece in the machine. We don't have the machine here to do that, so what I'll do is I'll CNC laser cut it, we'll CNC press break it, and then we'll make a trim piece for the end. Pedro will do some fine welding there on some thin material, a little bit of work there and sanding it all out. Yeah. But we'll make this thing look as original as possible.
Absolutely. Yeah, exactly.
So that's the plan. Today, the boys will unpick it. We'll get these pieces all laid out. I'll jump on CAD on Saturday with the boys, get it drawn up. We might even go and cut it, or we'll do it one night next week, I think. Get the floor in, get it back down to Living Loco, because those boys are on a very, very tight time frame. Cool? Sweet. What, does that taste good? All right, unpicking the floor. Here we go.
Alright, so in here we have a brand new Diff, which is exciting. We have radius arms and bushings. So this is obviously from J-Max. Everyone knows that FJ49s come with that uncorrected wheel check, and it's the dumbest thing ever. There's many good things to having a track corrected Diff. So and obviously it's tougher because I'm going to be driving this thing very, very fast and fun, because that's what I like to do and that's what I'm building it for.
Hey, you know there's an easy way to do this?
What?
Just get a patrol. They come from the factory like same.
Right, anyway, that's the end of the build. I'm selling this thing. I'm getting a patrol.
You want to borrow my car? Hell no!
That's pretty cool. It's plated.
The bar raising, we keep moving it up. Ain't no surprises here, they knew it was us. Apologies if I was doing too much, but I always came through in the clutch. I got fake restored, why you pushing the brakes? I ain't full of myself, boy, I'm full of mistakes. I came from humble and roots, I'm here to stand and deliver. Had no one gassing me up, except the man in the mirror.
Morning!
Morning.
You a little bit excited today?
I'm so keen.
You want to tell everybody what's going on?
Well, the chassis of the 45 is finally getting sandblasted and then painted tomorrow.
Tomorrow? Saturday. Here's the deal, right? We've got sandblasting up at Patriot HQ, but we don't have anything big enough to put the frame in. That's massive. I called a good buddy of mine right here on the Gold Coast. He's going to sandblast the frame. So we're down here. I'm going to give Ashton a quick look through at how the sandblasting actually works.
Yeah.
Are you keen to see it?
Yeah.
So the frame's just come off the rams over there. Just been taken, gone into a rack over there. Tomorrow they're going to sandblast it. We pick it up tomorrow, get it under cover. Saturday we put it in the paint shop at Patriot Campers. So let's go and have a walk and I'll show you through what's going on. Yeah. All right, so fundamentally this is a big ass sandblasting booth. Like what you're going to see the kids use on Saturday, right? Yeah. Hopefully the audio's all right. Come down here. So this stuff here This is what they actually blow through. So there's two products in here. One is a steel grit and the other one is like a crushed glass. What they're gonna do with Ashton's chassis though is they're gonna use the steel grit because a lot more abrasive. Come around this side here. In here, you've got glass in there. You can see through there. The other two hoppers hold the steel grit. What happens is that stuff gets recycled through the boat, comes up into this system here, and this is one of the guns here. So it comes out of the air tank, mixes with the steel grit, through the gun, guy stands up, hold on to that like a fireman. There you go. Do the Billy Madison thing.
I don't know that.
Under the legs. Come on, do the Billy Madison.
I was a road worker, a janitor, a gas station attendant.
So basically they blow all of that stuff through, and then what you end up with is that rusty frame, Ashton's rusty frame, will come out looking exactly like this, yeah? Now there's a couple of really good reasons that we're doing this. One is obviously remove all the old paint and all of the surface rust. But two, and probably more importantly, just as importantly, so it keys the surface of the material so it gives the powder coat something to bond to. Because fundamentally powder is completely different to paint. When you wet spray something, the paint sits on the surface. That's why you can scratch it off. Powder coat actually impregnates into the material, so when you heat it up, the material gets porous and the powder actually sucks into the material, so effectively it forms part of the structure. That's why powder coat is so much harder and so much better corrosive resistance. That's what we use on all the Patriot Campers models. We got to get back to Patriot HQ. I've got a massive day on today. We will be back here tomorrow. I might or might not come with you, but you can come back tomorrow. Bring the camera with you. Bring a carton of beer for all the boys. For getting it through so quickly for us. All right? There's a bit of sandblasting education. We'll see you all tomorrow.
Alright, so I am back here at the Sandblaster. I'm in Dad's old Ram now, but let's have a look at that. Beautiful. All just one colour, there's no more surface rust. But yeah, I'm going to get that loaded up and then I'll give you guys a closer look. Do you want to see something really, really cool? Look at it. It looks like sandpaper because they did a really hard job on the sandblaster, but that's good because it's got all of that surface rust off. Everything all looks one colour, it all matches, it's all beautiful. I am so bloody keen to get this thing all painted up, nice, shiny, like black, like powder coat. Wow, awesome job, so keen. That's one of the biggest things that had to get done on this build, and it's done. The chassis is pretty much done. All it needs now is powder coat. So let's get this thing back and get it all powder coated.
Morning! All right, it's Saturday morning. What's going down? What's happening?
We are sandblasting and powder coating everything to get this thing to a nice new rolling chassis. We've
got Steve in here. So Steve, say hello to everybody.
Hey.
So Steve is our resident powder coating team leader. Coordinator. Powder coating coordinator. So Steve runs the powder coating shed on day shift here down at Patriot HQ. How long have you been painting for?
14 years.
14 years. So Steve, so all the premium quality, all the ISO stuff that we went through with the paint shop down here, Steve's responsible for all of our Patriot Campers customers getting the best quality paint job on their camper trailers. And now the best quality paint job on the FJ, man. You've seen Ashton pick this up from the Sandblasters. You can see the boys down there done an absolutely epic job. So today the boys are going to learn another skill. Have you guys been on the powder coating gun here? No. I can't remember.
I think
Christian, you've done a little bit.
Yeah, I think I've pulled the trigger once.
Okay. Well, today I'm going to run you through the process right here at Patriot HQ, how we paint or powder coat all of our gear. And today's super exciting because the FJ is getting a little bit of shine, a little bit of blank. All right, here we go. Right, so what we're actually doing here now, we've got an overhead gantry system. This is a batching oven system, not a continuous conveyor, because of the size of the parts that we paint here in the paint shop. So generally speaking, what we do is we hang everything up first. We run it through the acid wash bath down the end. We bring it in, put it into an oven to dry, then we go into the powder coating booth, which you'll see in a minute, then we go into the baking oven. Because this frame's so long, we can't fit it in between the posts of the gantry. We're going to put this thing on a trolley so we can manually kind of handle it through the process. We're not so much set up for all this this long sort of stuff. Am I clear there, guys? Yeah. Keep going. We're not set up for this long sort of stuff, but we'll make it work.
And I'm on the verse, so when I shoot my shot, I don't miss. I'm gonna take the shot, take the shot, take the shot. You know I'm gonna take the shot, take the shot, take the shot. Pull up and
Right, so step number 1, acid wash. So what they're going to do right now is Steve's going to give it a light coat of acid and then rinse it off with deoxidized water. Yeah. So what the acid actually does is it keys the surface now really, really fine in there. You can see how kind of rough that is. That is like the perfect surface for powder coat. But we'll still put the acid on there to remove any kind of contaminants. So greases and oils and like silicon-based products, and especially aerosol-bound products, are probably the worst thing that you can put anywhere near something that you're powder coating, because the oil doesn't burn off once the powder goes on top. So that's the purpose of the acid washing. So we're going to get that done now, get it washed. Then it'll go into oven number 1. I'll give you a quick run through now. Oven number 1 is just for drying. So it goes in here. We run this oven about 180 odd degrees. Again, it's just for drying, remove all the water. Then while the material's still hot, we'll bring it through into this booth in here in a minute. And this is where we'll apply the powder. I'll talk through that when he does that. Then we go into this oven here. Now this oven runs at about 220 degrees. A normal baking cycle is about kind of 12 minutes. Steve was just saying he's purposely run the chassis real high on the trolley. Obviously more heat sits in the top of the oven, so you get the thing baked a little bit better, but we might actually bake this one a little bit longer. Then we'll do a couple of powder coat tests on it, make sure everything's cured properly. Then it'll be back next door and back on the hoist. That's simple.
you know I'm gonna take the shot, take the shot, take the shot. You know I'm gonna take the shot, take the shot, take the shot. Oh, I develop film, not feelings.
Alright, so the chassis has just been acid washed and now it's gone into its first cycle, which is just a dry off. So it's going to go in there for about 10 minutes. It's going to get dried off, but what that's also going to do is heat up the material and open all the pores in the steel. So when we put the powder on, the powder keys into the material a little bit better. So we're going to give this thing 2 coats. We're going to prime it first, then we'll put a satin black top coat over the top. But what we might do is go and fire up the sandblasting booth, and whilst this is happening here, Christian can start sandblasting all the other parts. But you can see all the bits that the kids have got laid out here. This is all the stuff they need to do today. And around this side, who's blasting, Yanni?
Yeah, Christian is.
Me and a blonde.
All right. So run us through. What does he need to do here?
Put all the small parts on here. With this one, we've got a little trigger so you can press it. That'll turn around.
Yep.
Blast it. Arms are in there and hold that and point.
Point and shoot. Do you reckon you can handle that, Christian?
Yeah.
You're not going to muck it up?
It's that easy, man.
Now you can see here, so this is garnet that we've got in here. So this is a lot finer and a lot less abrasive than the stuff that they use to do the frame. What is it, the 60 grit?
60-30 grit.
60-30, yeah? Wave your little hands around.
I was going to say something, but I'm going to wait until
Definitely. What do you like?
That would have been bad.
Yeah, don't say that. All right, let's give it a go. Right, so now's where it starts getting exciting. The boys are about to put some powder on this. So, fundamentally how this works. We've got a hopper at the bottom here, this will vibrate. It'll suck the powder out of this bag, so this is primer inside this one here. When the powder comes out of that gun, it comes out with a positive charge. So, this thing being earth, obviously it's negative. What the material does, once it's charged, it's like a magnet, right? And it sucks the powder, because you'll see when he fires up the gun, it'll start flowing powder into areas that you couldn't get to with a wet spray. So that's another real key advantage of powder coating. It's so much more durable, it's much harder than paint, but we've got to prime it first to ensure that the longevity. So anti-corrosion, make sure if the powder scratches on top, there's a good priming coat, base coat underneath, and that'll ensure this thing will last another, how old is it?
It's almost 50, it's 49 now.
49 years old this thing is, so hopefully you get another 50 years out of it. Alright, let's go! Yo, so the powder's done. So now we're going into the baking oven. So this one runs at about 220 degrees. I was just talking to Steve, we're going to bake this thing for about 20 minutes. We want this thing to go rock hard on the undercoat before we put the black on. Boys will get it in, then we get it back out, and then it goes nice, glossy, satin. Just checking in on how Christian's going. So that's the first lot of parts out. So you can see there the difference. So that's what we put in, this is what comes out. Go straight into the raw material, powder keys into there, job done. How you going? Good. Hell yeah, how's it going?
Yeah, good.
Parts are looking good, dude.
Thank you.
I just do what comes natural. 5-star, everything I see. Live lives.
Hell yeah.
See a little bit better where I had hit. Just through that window to kind of see where like you have hit and you haven't hit. So.
How's that, dude? It looks brand new. But this is going to come up brand new. We'll get a grinder onto this. That's all the splatter from factory, eh? You'd think Toyota would knock that off, wouldn't you? Yeah. Quality department at Toyota. Need to pick up your game there, crew. Looking good, man. All right, back in. Let's go.
That's really hot.
Excited?
Yeah.
Dude. Glossy things. What about you? You excited?
Keen.
You can't say on TV, dude.
I'm very keen.
Good. You know what we're doing this afternoon?
What are we doing this
We're going to the barber.
Ah, are we?
Yeah, it's time.
I got a cut.
It's time for a haircut again, dude.
Again?
You know what the worst thing is in the world? A cold sausage and egg McMuffin. It's 9 o'clock. We bought these on the way here at 5:30 this morning. I'm thinking I've got 2 massive ovens here, right? So the right thing to do will be just to heat it up a little bit. You might give that about, I don't know, maybe about 6 minutes, something like that. Now, so whilst my muffin is baking in the oven over there, the boys are about to put the black on, but now that you can see it under lights, you can see how that primer's all glossed off. See all that through there. And we got black. Black's in there, black, I reckon.
Yeah.
It's all in the hips, Ash.
Yeah.
It's all in the hips.
Yep.
It's all in the hips. Yeah, it's all in the hips.
Oh yeah, boy.
There you go.
Oh, look at the wrist action.
Oh, a bit further. There you go.
It's all in the hips, just to move your hips. It's all in the hips. Muffin update. Let's see how many muffins going in here. Oh damn, that's hot. Oh, cheese is melting. Oh yeah, that's good. Now, typically I'm not a fan of sausage muffins with egg on them. You can see the cheese is nicely melted. It's getting a nice little crust around the edge. The flavour. To all the people at McDonald's, I'd like to thank you for motivating all of us throughout every weekend and the long trips, the 1 in the morning stuff when you come into town and you see the golden arches, mate, you're a true inspiration. That is nice. Yo! How you going?
Good stuff.
The J-Max house.
Yeah.
How's it going? You got much more to go?
No, that's it, Bob.
Was that it? Finished? Finito? Sandblasting done. Fine. Brand new. Give it a spin. Bam, 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 bam. Yeah, Trusso. Send it, boy. You're probably all getting real sick of me saying this, but how freaking lucky are these kids? How are the skills that they're learning from everybody here at Patriot? Now they're bringing their mates in. Not now, all the way through the build actually. in the back end of the build, what you don't see is the nights that the boys spend here or the weekends that they spend here tinkering around. I'll be honest, they don't get a lot done unless someone's here supervising them. They are 17 at the end of the day, but skills that is just going to put everything that we do to the next level over the next couple of years. This is where it all kind of starts. We've got a long way to go. I'm so proud, like so proud. Here we go, yo. Check that out. How's that for timing? Yeah, boys. Last piece of the puzzle. These are all the other bits. We're going to do all these in one rack, so we're going to use the gantry now to get this all done. Hell yeah, boys.
I just want like to see it kind of the oven when it's all shiny.
Excited? Well, we had a cracker weekend. As you can see, the FJ49 frame is now on the lift, and now the fun part really starts.
Now we just bolt in all brand new things.
Just simple as that. We're just going to put it together. So as you can see, look, frame's all done, all black, ready to go. All the parts down here are all ready to go. Thank you very much to the team at J-Max. Jace up there found an old diff correction housing that he had lying around up there. We've got a custom tank, that's the main tank. We've got another tank that's going in the back, and then all of Jack and Harrison's engineering work, everything powder coated, ready to go. Time for the reassembly.
Yeah, so today we are going to get both the front and rear diff in.
That's the plan?
That's like the plan. And then like we can do like show level hubs and all that like as it's on the even.
Yeah, it is going to be a massive week. I think the aim is by this Friday, have this thing rolling.
Yeah.
Engine and gearbox come back in? Yes. Yeah? Got a new clutch coming down for you too.
Beautiful.
All right, get into it. Awesome. FJ49 build. It is all downhill from here. Hopefully. Let's go.
So this is the first thing that's getting bolted onto our new chassis, which is obviously our steering box. Pretty cool. That things are going back on, looking all nice. She looks fresh as a daisy. It's beautiful. It's pristine. Alright, diff's going in. That just slipped in there perfectly.
Yeah, of course. That's what we want.
Oh, has a pinion angle on it. Everything's sitting flat. Everything's painted up. It looks nice. I've got a plate of diff. It's all track corrected. Oh, dang it. So these are the Iron Man Foam Cell Pros. We have had them on Christian's patrol. They go really good. We are happy with them. There it is. That's the Iron Man Foam Cell Pro. Who needs to go to the gym when you have FJs?
Morning!
Morning.
How'd it go yesterday?
Good, really good. It looks beautiful.
Look at this. Have we captured all of this?
Yeah, we've captured.
How'd you go, Pedro?
Yeah, not bad. You're so keen on getting them shiny things in the front.
He just wanted the radius arms in.
Well,
and we'll get to the reason that he's back in just a second. How's your fingy?
Well,
Working? You still got full use of
yeah, most digits.
Okay.
Most digits.
Good, just checking. Actually, it was pretty funny, so let's just have a flashback to what happened to Jack's finger.
Oh, come on. We've done this enough times, haven't we?
Someone put a finger between a pellet and a gearbox.
And look, the doctor. Did I do it good?
Doc Justin.
I reckon I done it good. Look at him.
I brought in all my tools that I've sort of collected over the years, all the specialised ones for the
the carrier bearing nuts and all that sort of stuff, and the micrometers and the feeler gauges and all that stuff. And we're going to build the diffs today because
Boom!
we got lockers to go in.
Check that out. So
Not just one, there's two.
Two Harrop E-lockers. So another Australian-made product. This is the first time we're running E-lockers, eh? We haven't run them
Very
before.
first time. Well, other than the Toyota standard ones, it's the first time we've used Harrop ones.
These are made down in Melbourne. Harrop E-lockers. So they're an electronically actuated locker. They're not air locker like you would have seen us use typically in the past. Couple of reasons that we're going with that. I think it was probably really Sam Miles that was like, dude, you got to get onto these E-lockers. I think that guy gives his diff more than any. He was in front of me at Power Cruise, and I seen that guy with what I think he was running 35s on that thing, 600 horsepower,
Yeah, like four
in his GU.
muddies.
Clutched the thing in like third gear on the bitumen like he was driving a drift car. Like, what an idiot. And Diff went bang, but Senna didn't go bang. So he's given us a lot of good recommendations. After I think the relationship that we started with Harrop when we built Sarah's Ram, and we put the supercharger on it. I think the reliability in these, everybody talks about the reliability with the E-lockers, and that's going to lead us into something else. So we've made another plan on what we're going to use to control everything electronically in this car, haven't we?
It's going to be pretty badass.
So we made.
You going to tell me?
No, not yet. Yep, you'll know. I think Pedro knows because
I'll talk to you after.
he's got to cut the hole in the dash for it. We're going to do something that's never been done before. This thing is going to be awesome, and it's going to control the E-lockers plus everything else electronic in the car.
What is it that I don't know about?
But we're game changers, dude.
We are game changers.
Oh, come on, no, turn it off.
We're game changers. You reckon you get the diffs done in a day or not?
Nah, not both. It'll be a bit over a day.
Okay, so can we make it today?
20 minutes, Justin.
20 minutes.
20 minutes.
There's a rule here in the shed, eh? Everything takes 20 minutes.
Everything, Justin.
Everything. There's multiple blocks of 20 minutes as well, so you could use like 4 blocks. Yeah.
Well, I'm not going to rush through it. I'm going to teach him how to do it.
Yeah.
So.
See what's going on right there? The patience here is like, I'd break that.
20 minutes and time's up. Eh?
Can't do it in 20 minutes. I'm not interested. Don't know what he's smiling about. Anyway, I'm out. See you.
That's your crush spacer.
Yep.
Which is the typical Toyota OE way to do it. So what you do is you put that in, and it doesn't have so much of a whoop when it goes in, and you tension the pinion nut until you get the right preload.
Yep.
So we're not doing that because what happens is that actually crushes over time, and then you get float in the diff. So we've got solid spaces. So you put it in, assemble it, tension the pinion nut, and you go up to like 100 foot-pound, and then measure the preload, the drag on it, and then shim accordingly. Is this exciting bit or what?
Yes. So keen. I've had these here for ages, since like my birthday.
Do you know where they were for your birthday? They were hiding under my desk.
Yeah, I saw them.
Oh, I guess I wasn't real good at hiding them then.
No, you weren't that good.
So this one here is pinions ready to go. Ooh. That's the big bearing pressed on. That's the solid spacer. There we go. There's our shims for the solid spacer. Take that one. Take one at a time, I guess. Pounds. Gotta make sure I'm reading the thingy right. 70 of them. There. Now go opposites.
Do you have like a marker or something?
Okay, let's get a paint pen to it properly. Got the 2 shims, the thick and the medium. that through there. And that, so what do you measure?
20.
Drag it, just a reasonable speed, so 25. Alright, I might have to stick another shim in. Bit tight. We had too much preload there, so that basically means this bearing here was too far down there, so we've added this paper thin little shim. That there will space that up just a little bit, and then once the nut's tight, should hopefully reduce the preload. That might be the magic number. 10 to 16 is the number you want. Yeah, that's bang on 20 though, eh? Yeah. Alright, that's what we'll do it at. Nice. Beautiful. Alright, let's wind these in.
Our diff like center is in. We have our hole drilled in there somewhere. Yeah, we're going good. She's in. We've got these little side big, like what do you call these?
Carrier bearing nut.
So we've got our carrier bearing nuts in and all that. Got it all lined up, ready to go.
See how we've lost it? Oh no, it's still there. So we've got a little bit more.
Yep.
So I'll tighten that one up a little bit more.
Alright. So we're setting our like preload and backlash and all that. Making sure it's good.
Oh,
tightening that up heaps.
You're my demon in disguise. I learned to love the cage you keep me in, but the walls keep closing in, and I don't wanna die.
Then just come back around and go over it, or join it in like that, so over the top. Come back around, over it. That's just it. Drop that in. Some wiggling, maybe a mallet.
Yo,
What's
going on?
We're just
This is
getting
exciting.
everything. Yeah, it's going really good. We almost have the whole rear diff all in. We just need to chuck
hell.
axles in.
Hell
and
yeah, dude.
then
Brakes are all on.
it's all that's in now. Now we just need axle in, hub on, then wheel.
Sitting there, right?
Here's a hot tip. I'm going to fill everybody in, right? If you decide to do a project like this or try and recreate this, do not buy an ex-mining vehicle, right?
Just don't.
Just
You
don't
will
do
not
it.
save any money.
I was trying to teach Ashton a lesson of trying to keep within his means, but that has come back and bitten me in the ass
And everyone else.
so friggin' hard, and everybody that we know, because realistically, we've kept the engine out of that car.
Yeah.
The wiring harness and the engine.
Yeah,
That's
We didn't even use the steering column or any of the dash.
Or
And-
gearbox.
Oh yeah, the dash.
and the dash.
All
Yeah,
gearbox.
the
yeah.
dash.
So we used up all of the parts from that car for the mock-up in the first part of this series that you've seen, but right throughout this build process, we've just leaned on everybody that we know in the Land Cruiser game. So Mr. Land Cruiser, GSL, Amped Automotive, A to Z, JNAX. Who else? Who else has been involved in just replacing parts for us from that they've had lying around in their backyards? There's the biggest tip that I will give you.
Just buy a brand new car.
Go and buy a brand new car. It obviously, the labour, the time, the paint, the sandblasting, the back and forth, it probably would have cost about the same.
Well, it doesn't have to be brand new, just not
Yeah,
ex-mining.
just
Not trashed.
But here's the flip side of that, and I've been saying that from day one. What this kid has learnt, we all learnt the hard way, did we not?
Oh yeah.
We've all been there. We've all done it.
Be next time learning it all over again.
And that's just been a massive, big part of the learning curve. How far away are you from having this rolling?
A day.
Yeah, I reckon. Should be on wheels tomorrow.
So it's Wednesday today, wheels tomorrow. You know what we're gonna do? When it's time to put the motor in, we're putting a stopwatch on it. That's what we're gonna do. Don't forget, and make sure I'm not here to miss it. We're gonna put a stopwatch on it. Bang, you've got 20 minutes. See if you can fit a VDJ
We're gonna pit stop the motor.
and a gearbox in 20 minutes. Okay. But I'm talking, you've got to go engine, bolt the gearbox in, and get it dropped into the car. And the closer will be, I think you've got, maybe not torque them, but you've got to get the nuts on everything. Nuts on the engine mounts, nuts on the cross member for the gearbox.
Got a new phone.
I reckon if I can do all of this in 20.
Yeah.
Yeah. I reckon another like 1.
Okay. I reckon if you can
Because
do it
it's
all in 20
impossible.
minutes, I'll give you another week in my shed with my boys on my payroll. And if not, you owe me the cost.
That's probably worth more than the bike.
I can't afford that, does he?
Okay. I'll bet you a cake box from Two Little Bakers.
Okay, done.
Yeah? Two Little Bakers, the best bakery on the Gold Coast. You can see we're all we're all kind of Jack's kind of doing all right. Steve, do you like cakes from Two Little Bakers?
You don't share that. You eat them before Justin shows up.
Is it true you ate a whole box of cookies from there last night?
No.
And put it on Instagram? That's what I heard.
It wasn't cookies. It was like chocolate cake with a bit of mousse on it. Double.
With a layer of cookies.
All right, that's about box of cakes. All right, it's on. Coming up soon.